What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I am Dom with the Great Man Sauce. How you going?
Good, Doma. Very well. It's been a huge week, a massive week in the hobby, a massive week in sports. We've got the NBA Finals. We've got the Euros. Obviously, we'll touch on that a little bit, not too in depth. Obviously, we'll save that for Azuro's Euro, which will probably be happening later tonight or tomorrow. And we'll run over a massive UFC card, Doma. Massive is an understatement. I don't know how any more words I could put this put on top of that could amplify how big this card is. It's going to be a huge fight weekend, a fight day on Sunday. I can't wait for it. Can't wait for it.
It's very exciting. Obviously, McGregor back in the ring, and we are super pumped for it. All right, we're going to start with AFL. We're going to get straight into it. Round 16, and we start off with a banger. The Gold Coast Suns defeating Richmond 77-67, 10-point win. Safe to say that I could potentially have fluffed this one on the treble in the preseason review of the AFL. I said Dusty to win the Brownlow, Dusty to win the Norm Smith, and Richmond to win the flag. And at the moment, Dusty's getting nothing, mate. He'd be shoveling snow. He's starving, mate. I don't know. They're all over the shop.
They're done, Tomo. Let's be honest. Let's put the cue in the rack, as we say.
They've lost 3 straight.
Yeah,
they lost to the Weagles, to the Saints by 40, and then to the Suns by 10, and they got outscored by 10 scoring shots. If it wasn't for poor kicking, they kicked 10 extra behinds than what Richmond did. Gold Coast, they potentially could have lost by 40 again on Friday night, or Thursday night, whatever it was. Terrible result for Richmond and their supporters. Then we had Geelong beating your mob 98-57, relatively close, and then Geelong decided to just bang 8 goals in a quarter and finish you off. So
yeah, look, they sort of kept us at arm's length. They were never really in danger in that game. I mean, we made too many mistakes, and Geelong just don't get beat down there. So it's a very, very tough task going down there, and it seems as though they are getting their wish. The Geelong Football Club, obviously, they've been screaming for this for years, that they want to play all their home games in Geelong, which, in my opinion, at the end of the day, does just come down to money. But I think it's fair enough. They do have a stadium where they can play, and that is their home ground. It's no different in, American sports and NFL. Every team has their own ground. So I think it would be good, but the AFL doesn't want that. But what they've sort of compromised on is that apparently one big club will play there each year. So obviously, that will be like a Richmond or a Collingwood or, Essendon, one that has a big fan base. Obviously, I don't know. That's what the agreement, I think, is. I've heard. So interesting one there, which would definitely help them going forward, I guess.
Definitely. Then the D's lost to the Giants by 9 points. Interesting. Didn't catch this game, but by all reports, they're a bit lackluster, Melbourne, in this one. And GWS came to play. Obviously, final spot up for grabs. And they've overtaken Richmond on the ladder, and they're in that 8th position. So,
yeah,
very handy draw.
Play with more urgency, Doma. Play with much more urgency. And yeah, there's a few cracks in that armor. A few cracks in that armor over in Melbourne in the last few weeks, which I've seen that I'm not as convinced as I once was. I think this is a very, very open season going forward. There's a few teams there that can win it. I think Geelong can piece it together. Obviously, Jeremy Cameron being out, pulled a hammy to mention. Pulled a hammy, something that apparently he's been managing all season, but it's just obviously gotten to a point where he's going to be out for a prolonged period.
Yeah,
so that's a big out. That's a big out. But look, I'm not sold on Melbourne after what I've seen. They can play really, really good footy and put the pressure on.
But I said this I said this when they won 8 straight or 9 straight or whatever it was. I said they did this 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever it was. They had that great season. Oh, the D's are going to win the flag. They're favourites to win the flag, and then they crashed and burned when it counted in finals football. So until they can show me something when it actually counts, don't come talk to me.
What did I say, Donna?
They are literally faking it till they make it at the moment. Literally.
I said it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
100%. So Melbourne supporters don't want to kick you off your pony because you're riding it very happily at the moment. Obviously, a bit of a bump in the road, rightly so. But don't guarantee yourselves as supporters. Oh, we've got
these
this in the bag.
few losses are very good for your football side. Let's just put it
exactly.
That
Because the team up next, Brisbane beat Adelaide by a monster amount. They're very good, Brisbane. Then Freo,
another team that I think can win it.
Exactly. Freo defeated by Carlton. Good win by the Baggers. Very nice. 2 wins in a row. It's always good, but also sad at the
They
same
are
time.
going off down there at Blue Abroad. Let me tell you, 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, they're happy. The Flat Track Bullies beat Hawthorn. Sydney dismantled the West Coast Eagles by 92 points. I think it is. Not great if you're a West Coast supporter.
This is a Sydney side that's playing a lot of youngsters.
With
up
one of the
coming.
goats, mate. With one of the goats at the helm up there in the forward line, Big Budwater. He's just putting on an absolute clinic. And if you've got some, I know you've got a few things to say down the barrel to West Coast supporters, Source, because tell you what, team is struggling.
Doma, this is very, very far off the team that I seen win the premiership not too long ago. And many of those players still being on that list. So it's not that, they've lost the talent. But just at times their effort just is lackluster, to say the least. And they just got demolished. Let's be honest. Absolutely demolished by Sydney. They started fast, 5 goals, 1 in the first quarter. But this is where it gets embarrassing, Doma. 6 goals to no score in the second quarter. They didn't score a point, not 1 point, West Coast, in the second quarter. How does that happen? How? And it's not like you look at these two teams on paper and you don't say that Sydney has clearing out the better team. Right, I think it's it's even match. I'd even sway it a bit to West Coast. But how can it when you try? If this was in West Coast or in Perth, I should say, it'd be a completely different story. How can it be so different from one ground to another?
You can't be lopsided like that.
How?
That's ridiculous.
That's a shellacking, Dom. You didn't score a point in the second quarter.
That's an embarrassment for a team that's meant to be one
of
the favourites. It's an embarrassment. And anyway, in better news, let's look at a positive. They can't win shit. Let's look at a positive. Big Buddy Watch. He's 24 goals away from 1,000. Now
he can get there.
No, he will get there. Source 100%. He will get there.
He could get there this season.
Yeah, no, he can. And considering Sydney's in a lockdown and there's going to be a bubble in Victoria. Source, we might be able to attend this game.
We're going to celebrate with Budvar 1,000 goals.
We might be able to.
There's going to be there'll be some cheapy tickets here because there's going to be. This is beautiful. This has worked out beautiful for us, Doma.
This is great.
We're going to have to go down there.
But I'm just going to put it on the record. I know we've said it, but we're going to say it again. One of the most exciting athletes to have ever played this game. And I'm calling it now, and you can hold me to this for the rest of my life. Even if the podcast was to end tomorrow, you will never, ever, ever, ever in your lifetime and in the existence of this game see another player kick 1,000 goals in their career. Ever again. Full stop, exclamation point. As simple as that. No one will ever kick 1,000 goals again in this sport. So honestly, cherish this moment. Cherish it because this is one of
Yeah.
the greats ever. Still playing.
Yeah.
It's like Roger Federer still playing tennis.
You know, look, not for anything. He played in this is what I mean about how good he is. He played in both eras. He played in the eras where, guys, we didn't have this flooding back and they all sort of zone and man space and it was a bit more man on man and you still, forward stayed in the 50 and you'd lead up at the ball. Early days in Carlton at Hawthorn, 2008. Obviously they won the flag. He was monumental in that season. And he played that role, and he was unbelievable. And below his feet, brilliant. And then he transitioned, obviously, to this new game where everyone rolls up the field, everyone sort of floods back, and then you try hit him on the counter. And then when you don't hit him on the counter, you try to pick passes through this and that. It's it's completely different. So look. Bud, I can't wait. And if that is the case, Doma, and we can go watch the game, we will 100% be on.
100%. Big Bud Water. It's amazing. His average is 3.15 goals per game. So
yes,
good.
this might actually happen, Adam. It might happen. If might have to run on there. 1,000 goals. That's unbelievable. Surely you'd run onto the field. Surely.
You have to. Oh, actually, you know
G
what? You know what? You probably cop it twice as hard.
You're probably twice as hard for the
because
COVID.
Of COVID. Oh, we're going to spread it. We've got no cases, but we're going to spread it to Buddy. So, like a Le Mans, mate.
Better stay off the field.
The true Le Mans are really out there. We haven't actually.
Hey, I've been on there once when Lloydie kicked 100, so I'm happy with that.
That's good. That's actually awesome. All right, let's get into round 17. Port versus Melbourne.
I'm going to go to the D's. It's over in Port Adelaide, but this is a test. This is a test for the D's.
I'm going Port.
They've got enough talent. They've got enough talent to get the job done, but this is the type of game that Port Adelaide will win. This game's in Melbourne. Melbourne win, but I'm going to back in Melbourne. Show me something.
Essendon versus Adelaide.
Dons.
I'm going the Bombers as well. Hawthorn Freo.
Hawks.
Carlton Geelong at the G.
Geelong, they will get a reality check this weekend.
The Baggers. Brisbane St Kilda.
Brisbane. This could actually get ugly for St Kilda. Really ugly. It's going to go one of two ways. It's going to be 60 plus, or it's going to be, they're going to just stay within and maybe they'll lose by 3 or 4 goals.
Correct. GWS Suns.
GWS.
Dogs Sydney.
Dogs. That's going to be a good game, I reckon.
That will be a great game. Richmond Collingwood.
This is a tough pick because Richmond are playing dreadful.
They're
dreadful.
They're terrible, mate.
So bad at the moment. I'm going to go. I'm going to back the Tigers.
I'm backing.
No confidence.
I'm backing the
Tigers. Wow. Yeah, that off them, are you?
I was on them so hard that now I'm so off them. I just, it's got to the point where, they're not my team, so I don't need to ride them on the highs and ride them and like be down in the dumps when they're in the lows. I'll ride them on the highs, and then when they're in the lows, mate, we're just going to poke the bear. That's what we do. That's what we're going to do on this show. West Coast versus North. I say it every single time. Every time we have to play a team, the fixturing is like really good team gets smashed and embarrassed. The following week they play North Melbourne, and I think West Coast will come out pretty fired up this week, and I'm not looking forward to it. I really am not looking forward to it. So I'm going West Coast.
Yep, Coasters.
Even though we've been playing great footy, and honestly, I'm very, very proud of my football.
I'd love nothing more than for you to get the win. It'd be great. Just bury West Coast supporters even more.
I would love that. All right, let's go to the ladder quickly. Dogs on top, Melbourne second, off percentage, Brisbane third, Port fourth, and Geelong fifth. Third, fourth, and fifth all equal on points. Then sixth is Sydney, seventh is West Coast, eighth is GWS, and then 9th, 10th, and 11th. So Richmond, Freo, and St Kilda all equal on points. Percentage is the separator. Essendon and Carlton a game behind them on 24 points. Gold Coast and Adelaide 14th and 15th on 20. Collingwood on 16 points with the Hawks, and North Melbourne at the bottom with 10 points, 64.3%. We're still going to get to the 80. It's going to be pretty hard. All right, moving on, Source. F1s. We launched off the grid on the weekend. We had a lot of fun. Very laid-back approach to podcast, and we just get in there. We have a laugh. Joined by Lukey and Dan, so Mars Sports Cards and Azudo Cards. It was really good fun. And we literally got on there 30 minutes before the race. So we talk a bit of F1, the sport, talk about cards in the hobby, how it's trending on eBay. And then obviously we cover the race over the first few laps and first few.
That's the most exciting stuff, isn't it, Dom?
Yeah,
And there was some massive action in
there
those,
was some really good action, some penalties given to Norris for blocking. Block Perez, and then Perez copped a few for blocking Leclerc. Interesting race. But the story to be told is going into the weekend, Lewis Hamilton said, my competition is Lando Norris, who polled second, and Sergio Perez, who polled third. They are my competition. Max is not my competition this week. So he knew going into this race, he had no chance of beating Max Verstappen. And not for anything, the way he drove, no one was beating him. The interesting thing is next up, not this week, the following week is Silverstone. So it's the home race for Mercedes. Now, Toto Wolff boldly came out in the post-race interviews and said, we'll see our car go back to form, Hamilton back in form, and we could win the race by 30 seconds. That's what he said, Source. He said he expects to win it by 30-plus seconds. I don't know whether making up this 15-second gap on Verstappen, like a 45-second turnaround. I'm just saying. You know what I mean?
That car that Verstappen is driving is proven now multiple races that it has more than enough speed to challenge the Mercedes, and if not, is better. Actually, looks better than the Mercedes this year.
It corners well. It's quick on the straights. It's almost a complete car, honestly. And not for anything, Max is a complete driver. Bar one race in Baku where his tyre blew, he'd be still winning. Like, that was a guaranteed win for him.
Yeah.
So, very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff in terms of the constructors as well. The World Championship, because there's a few guys that are pretty close. And when I read them out, it's not completely out of the realm for them to potentially snatch second from Hamilton. Potentially. Not saying it's going to happen, but there's potential there. So the standings were Verstappen first, and to mention Hamilton finished outside the top three because he copped some damage, so they had to push Bottas as the primo driver, and he finished second. Norris third, so great stuff for Lando Norris. Fourth was Hamilton. Sainz fifth, Perez sixth. Ricciardo worked his way up from about 13th on the grid to finish 7th, so great drive by him.
That's a good effort.
Car looked very pacey, so that's good signs.
Good signs. Let's hope he can get at least one podium this season.
Definitely. Leclerc in 8th, Gasly in 9th, and Fernando Alonso in 10th. World Championship, Verstappen is now 32 points clear of Hamilton, who is on 150. Now, Perez is 46 points behind Hamilton. Not really out of the realms of a potential second. I'm not saying he's going to. There's still a lot of racing to go. Norris is 4th on 101 points. Bottas on 92. Leclerc 662. Sainz 7th 60. Ricciardo in 8th on 40. Gasly 9th 39. And Vettel is 10th on 30. And constructors, Red Bull 286, Mercedes 242, McLaren 141, Ferrari 122, AlphaTauri 48, Aston Martin 44, Alpine 32, Alfa Romeo 2, and Williams and Haas still the donuts. George Russell was trying to hold on to that 10th spot to get Williams their first point, but unfortunately could not get it done. And hi to Joel as well for tuning in. All right, Source. I'm going to quickly make a pit stop while you start off on this UFC card. I'll make sure I don't bring my laptop into the bathroom while.
A la big boy movement. All right,
UFC.
I'll bring it up, ladies and gents. UFC. Let me just get the proper announcement. UFC 264, massive card this week. You've got obviously the big dog, the Irishman, Conor McGregor, on the card against Dustin Poirier. Number three, the trilogy. This is the fight that ends it all. It's 1-1 apiece. This is what people love to see. They love to see it going into that third fight. But the main card, as you know, I usually run through it. So let's run through it. Bantamweight division, you got Sean O'Malley against Chris Matinho. And then women's bantamweight, you got Irene Aldana against Yana Kuznetskaya. And then the heavyweight division, you got our boy Tai Tuivasa, the Aussie, Bam Bam, against Greg Hardy. This is going to be a great fight. Let's hopefully Tuivasa can get the big KO. The welterweight division, you got Gilbert Burns against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. This is another brilliant bout. It should be action-packed. And then main event, lightweight, Dustin Poirier against Conor McGregor. UFC 264 is going to be absolutely massive. This weekend, tune in, 12 p.m. The rankings. Let's see if we can have a look here in the some of these divisions. So you got Gilbert Burns against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That's 2 versus 4. So that's going to shake up the rankings. You've got in the lightweight division, you got Conor McGregor is number 5 against Poirier is number 1. So obviously they're just really getting this fight because he's, it's the trilogy. But that will have an effect. Obviously, if McGregor does beat Poirier, he'll probably move up the rankings a little bit. So there's a few here. And then in the bantamweight division, I'm not sure if he is even in the rankings. My boy O'Malley, who's obviously only had one professional loss. It was when he broke his foot. I'm pretty sure he's not even in the rankings yet. So there's nothing there that will really shake things up. But in the heavyweight, I'll have a look for you, ladies and gents. Our boy Tai Tuivasa is nowhere to be seen in this top section. So look, there's a few ranked fighters in there, which should make for a great card. Trilogy. It's going to be it's a brilliant card. I mentioned Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, great fight. Gilbert Burns, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. That's the second co-main event. That's going to be a brilliant fight. You've got our brilliant our boy Bam Bam Tai Tuivasa against Greg Hardy in the heavyweights. As you know, Doma, the hammers they get thrown.
Needless to be said, mate.
Needless to be said, we always got to throw it out there, ladies and gents. If you've never watched the heavyweight UFC bout, you're missing out. You are missing out. Because there's a very good chance you're going to see a knockout, and that's what I love to see when I love to see the pain. They're in the pain game, Thomas. So they walk into that ring willy-nilly knowing what's going to happen for our entertainment. And boy, oh boy, is it some entertainment. So UFC 264, 12 p.m. this Sunday, main card, G up. It's going to be massive, huge.
I like it. Sounds good to me. Now, you wanted to quickly bring up some Dustin Poirier cards, potentially.
Oh, yes, I did. I don't really know exactly, but this is something that I mentioned it a few weeks back about potentially having a look at maybe what some of their cards are selling for now. I didn't get a chance to actually have a look, but I will do some research so I can do some reporting pre and post. So that will be something that I will be noting down right now, Doma, and making note is actually finding the prices on the last solds of these Poirier rookies and McGregor rookies, and then going from there and figuring out, how much they potentially might move later on. So I'm not exactly sure if McGregor is on Conor McGregor. He's actually on card ladder, so you can have a look at his. Nope. The sad thing is they only have his Prism card, which is pretty shit considering he's 2013. I think Topps Bloodline is his first. Is his first card, and there is a base card which they don't have on card letter, which is sort of disappointing. Because it is his rookie card. But maybe that's a suggestion I can make to the team and put it in the submissions box. So I'll do that as well. But
Very nice.
Yeah, look, I'll be interested to see if there's any movement or if the fight or the result impacts the cards. Which we've seen a little bit. It's been the case previously. So just see how alive the UFC market is. That's sort of what I'm hinting at.
Very nice. All right. Let's move on to the NBA. Game 1 of the finals happened to fall today. You know we love Wednesdays. And the Suns took it out by 13. Home court advantage. They played well. Giannis suited up. He played 35 and a half minutes, which is good signs for Milwaukee fans. But Sauce and I, we caught up today and we watched the first half and then a bit of glimpses and onto scores and stuff throughout the second half. But there was one thing Sauce said to me in literally the first 10 minutes of the first quarter. And he goes, if they have any chance of winning this game, Milwaukee, they need to take Aiden out of the game. And they didn't do that because he had 18, 19 boards and he played very well. And on top of that, Devin Booker, 27 points, Chris Paul, 32. Jay Crowder ended up scoring a point Sauce off a free throw. He had nothing when we looked. He was 0 of 8 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. Ayton went 80%, 22 points, 19 boards. You can't allow that to happen. Cannot allow that to happen. So, good win by them. Sets them up beautifully going into game 2. That's what you want. You want the head start.
Yep.
You want to win the first game, get the cobwebs out, the nerves. And now you want to put your opposition on the back foot, and that's what the Bucks are. They're on the back foot. So it's going to be a very interesting series. Sauce, your takes on this one?
Yeah, look, I say that because I'm not sure if you're aware, Dario Saric left the game injured, didn't return, so possibly in doubt for the next game. And then their backup center is Frank the Tank Kaminsky. Sorry, DeAndre Ayton is, leaps and bounds ahead of Frank the Tank. And if you can force them to have to play Frank the Tank, and your job and Giannis's job at getting inside and having a lot less of competition at the hoop would be greatly improved. Because Aiden is much better at defending that basket than Frank the Tank and even Dario Saric. So it would really massively help his cause. And I think that's why they need to try get him into early foul trouble, force him off. He played 39 minutes, Doma. So, he played a lot of minutes. He played, other than Booker, played second most minutes on the team. So I think that's could be a point of emphasis. They only forced him onto 3 fouls. That means they weren't attacking enough. Positive sides on the Bucks side was obviously Giannis looked good. He looked good. Surprising to see him out there. I actually retweeted a tweet from the Milwaukee Bucks organization, Giannis warming up pre-game. Someone responded, is he actually playing? I'm like, well, no reports that he's not playing and he's warming up. And he looks pretty good. Like it was like a minute, a bit of a 30, 40 second. And I'm like, oh, he looks pretty good in the warm-up. Like it doesn't look like he's, limping or anything. He played and, he played 35 minutes. He 7 of 12, 17 rebounds, 20 points, 6 of 11, 1 of 2 from 3. I mean, he was really good. The guy that was very disappointing was Drew Holiday. 4 of 14, 0 of 4, 10 points. I mean, he had 9 assists, but that's just not good enough. Like that really just isn't good enough. And not to mention, his opposing player on the other side has given him a bath. Chris Paul, 32 points, 4 of 7 from 3, 9 assists, and pretty much said, I'm better than you, and you You can't guard me. You can't guard me. He couldn't guard Chris Paul. And Drew Holiday's, you got to step up. You can't allow Chris Paul to be having, 32 points.
Funny thing is, we said that the only, you got a chance to win if you got Giannis, and yeah, tactically, but we said that they needed a three they had to step up to relieve the pressure, and they got the player. The player just hasn't performed. And you think about it, he averaged 26 points in the last 2 games of the last series as well. Just imagine he starts hitting those threes when it counts. Because scores like this blow out because they put the team on the bench and then guys come on and, it's whatever basketball at the end of the game. But you just think he starts shooting better than bloody literally 28.5% and 0% from 3. It's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And he needs to, I don't know what he has to do, but he has to do something quickly, and he has to try and shut down Chris Paul. Another observation Source had, and he said to me that they keep giving him that elbow mid-range fade. What they did in the last few games when he struggled, Chris Paul, they made him take that fade closer to the baseline, and he struggled to hit it. So they kept pushing him. Like, the blueprint's there to beat them. You got to marginalize DeAndre Ayton, and the way you guard Chris Paul, because not for anything, Booker's shooting has been pretty streaky, and Saucy's injured himself on the pod, which is quite interesting.
I've cramped up, Dom. Obviously, we met up. We went down. We shot some hoops today at the YMCA. Got in there on the indoor court, and I tell you what, me legs are feeling it right now. Me legs are feeling it. The hammy's just cramped up on me right then, so I've had to stretch it out.
I don't cramp because I don't work as hard as you do. So, well, what are you going to do? Joel said the crowd was wild for the Suns. The atmosphere is unbelievable, and I'm really happy for the Phoenix Suns organization. I'd love to see him win, as I keep saying. I want Chris Paul to get a chip, but who knows? It's Milwaukee's to lose. We keep saying it. They're the team. They are the team. I think, with all the weapons they have, they should be winning this. Giannis, Middleton's been playing unbelievable basketball. Just Drew Holiday needs to step up, I guess. So we'll see what happens. Next game's on Friday here, so Thursday over in the States. Tune in for that. Game 2 will be in Phoenix. So eyes will be watching that very, very closely. Might even have to do a quick review post-game Source on a lockdown lounge.
That's why we created the segment, Doma.
That's why we got it. All right, Source. Let's move on. Lemon of the week. And you suggested someone, and I'm not going to disagree with it. And you said we're going to make it the shortest Lemon of the week segment ever. I said, how is that possible? And Saul said, I'm just going to tell you the person that I'm going to give a nomination to, and it'll say it all. He told me who the person was, and it's pretty quick. So, Sauce, take it away. It's your nomination this week.
Yeah, look, ladies and gents, we're going to keep this short, sharp, and not very sweet. Patrick Beverley, you, sir, are a lemon. Clearly, we know Pat Bev pushing Chris Paul, just an all in all lemon. It's just fake tough guy stuff, chirping. You lost, all right? You lost. And, mocking the league for, making him lose his wages for one game, yada, yada.
You're the guy that you were mentally fragile and you got broken, mate. So don't blame the league, and there's no one to blame but yourself. It got in your head. You're Chris Paul's son. Chris Paul's son, Pat Beverley. Literally. Chris Paul's put a luxury condo piece of real estate in his head. That's what he's done. He owns him. He owns him now, mate. So Adam said, give that man a pat on the back. Very funny. So that's the Lamont of the week. It's just short and sharp. That's the quickest we've ever had, to be honest. All right, Sauce. Straight into hobby talk. And now, these blockchain cards, we've mentioned it on prior pods that Panini are releasing. Something like hotcakes, first of all. And also, you said you saw some resale value on some of these cards. And they're actually
people have mentioned it. I was just going to look it up here.
So I'll tell you what some of the cards were. So Prism and Marvels, Donruss Marvels, not just Donruss cards, Donruss Marvel cards. So the blockchain product on Monday and Friday, the first Silver Parallels pack will release. On Wednesday, the first insert pack, which is Net Marvels, will launch. So on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So you're still in time for that, and Saturday here in Australia to get the second drop of the Silver Prism packs. They will be launching on Monday and Friday morning at 10 a.m. CST on the blockchain platform. Will include one Silver Prism numbered to 149 and 2 base cards. Each Net Marvels pack will include one Net Marvels insert numbered to 500 and 2 base cards. Net Marvels packs will be available while supplies last, beginning at 10 a.m. CST on Wednesday. So perfect timing for these drops. We missed Mondays because it was yesterday, the drop here. You still got the opportunity tomorrow to get the Net Marvels and Saturday to get the second drop for the Silver Prisms. So if you're listening to this and you're interested in getting some NFTs, Panini style, as we keep saying, Panini's not going to come into this space if they don't see a future in it. Just keep that in the back of your mind before you go out there and go, oh, NFT, no one's ever going to collect that ever. All right, no worries. In a forever technologically advancing world, we're going to shy away from the technological route, are we? So anyway, it's just like...
Doesn't sound logical, does it?
Yeah, it's poor thinking. It's poor thinking. Like, just think about that. Unless there's a technological failure in the next 10 years and ceases to exist. It becomes an ice age on technology and the planet, then you've got no chance of it taking off. But we're not getting one. Not for anything. The polar caps are melting, not developing, mate. So they're an investment opportunity. They really are. So sneak peek, you know what it's like. It's just Silver Prisms and then the Net Marvels. We all know the cards. They got Trey, Jar, Zion, Legoat, the Chef, and of course, in the biggest picture, Luka the Don, everyone's favorite basketball player. So opportunities there. Just putting it out there. I'm not going to get it back, but well, you know what? I might just jump on. I could. It doesn't say what the prices are. I think the last couple they've been about $10. The Knights Lance.
Okay.
Yeah, Knights Lance. It's the fourth article down. So some pretty cool stuff there. I think Source is going to do a bring up on the screen. Ever works.
It wants to open.
Ever wants to open.
There we go.
Here we go. So listeners, you can head over to the Knights Lance, which is the Panini America blog, and have a look at it. It is titled First Silvers. That's Net Marvel's headline, Panini America's Prism Basketball NFT. So Source has got it up. I'll tell you one thing, Source. You want to know the honest truth about these NFTs? Centering's mint. Surface is mint. They're all PSA 10s. If you
There's
have to
no
send
need
them
for
in.
actual grading. That would be elite. You know that'd be elite?
There you go. Here's a job opportunity, a business venture, grading NFT cards. There'll be someone that comes up with it.
Don't throw that idea out there because some idiot will take that as seriousness. They actually would. They actually would. We'd end up with it.
Put them on. Who cares? That's all right. We'll interview them. We'll just say, oh, how do you define what's a 9 and what's a 10 and 9.5? It's the quality of the JPEG. It's not a PNG, so it's a 9.
Cosmic Card says in the comments, just randomize the surface, corner, and edges and damage. Yeah, just randomize it. Stuff it.
Bloody hell.
Yeah,
It's true.
You scan it. It's something comes in. It's like, yeah, scan this to find out what your surface, corners, edges.
Yeah. You know what's funny? We put this stuff into existence, and you're not wrong, Source. There'll be someone out there that actually creates this service, and there'll be a Lemon or Lemons plural that will actually pay for this service and get rewarded. Man, I'm telling you. Anyway, besides the point, forget about it.
We all know what it looks like. They've gotten real inventive with these cards.
You know what? Actually, you know what they will do, Source? You know what they will do? They will, mark my words, you know how we saw those little tablet things start getting manufactured for Top Shot?
Yeah.
They will start. There is room in the market for a card size. And you will be able to plug your card in to charge it. If not, it goes on a stand and it'll stay on and it'll have your NFT card on there. It looked pretty cool in like a display case or on a shelf. It actually looks sick. And then it has on there, like it could have in the bottom corner, this is minted, like it's minted this of this. So you know that like this is a numbered NFT. And not for anything, that is how you will potentially. People say, oh, you can't trade in digital cards, like physically. That is one way to physically do it. Because you could make it that the card is like transferred onto there. So once you trade that, you lose the rights to it. That's how it is. Potentially. I don't know. Just speculating. That's what we do. We like to speculate some stuff.
Yeah, look.
Way to ruin NFTs, Doma, says Adam. You have to take them off the web for 9 months while they grade your NFTs. $9 months? Try 12 to 18, Adam.
Oh, my God.
We'll get a backlog, digital backlog. Anyway, just check them out. It's pretty good. Anyway, let's get into the real hard-hitting stuff. We'll start with Rock Nation, which obviously we know is Jay-Z's company.
Massive.
They are joining in the investment for the CCG group buyout.
Yep.
This is huge. Jay-Z sees this potential. He's a businessman. A lot of money.
We've talked very highly of, obviously, CCG because we've graded Pokemon cards with them. And I feel that there is a label change coming on their sports side. I don't know word, but I reckon if they were wise and they were open or listening to their consumers,
there's been open communication between Double Coverage and CSG. And if we get them on the show, we will ask them flat out, will you change the label because people don't like it?
Yeah, if they just matched it up with the blue trading card one, you know what? I reckon more people, and a lot of people when I've showed them, oh, this is their trading card Pokemon and Magic version that they use this label, they think it looks so much more better. It's literally night and day. So I think that would be the next step for them on the grading side. But they do more than that. They're the number one comic book grading company. They grade coins. They do already have international offices, which is, to my knowledge, to the best of my knowledge, what I understand is the only grading company that currently has that already in place. Obviously, there's companies out there looking to expand.
Shanghai. I think they've got
one in Shanghai. I think one in Germany. And, there's one in the US. And then I'm not sure where else. But yeah, they've got a few. So in my opinion, they are. I should have, you know, who could have got the lemon of the week this week, Doma. Now that I think of it, as well as Pat Bev, this bloke who I read that they
Oh,
are
I know who you're
they are
talking about.
they are an irrelevant grading company. No, not that guy. No, not that guy. But
Okay.
there was a guy wrote a
Save it.
comment.
Save it. Get his name. And it's free publicity for him. But you know what? He's going to be publicly outed as a Le Mans. So it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, look, he went out and said that they are an irrelevant grading company.
Well,
That
they
is
are.
one of the most idiotic takes
They
I
are.
have ever heard.
They
Yeah,
are,
irrelevant enough for someone to pay $500 million for it, hey?
Yeah, they're irrelevant. There's only one grading company. So they're irrelevant.
They have no 9.5s. No subgrades.
Don't say stuff like that. You're being an idiot now. Like that stuff doesn't matter. That stuff doesn't matter. You should know this. No one cares how they got the grade.
Because the market tells us that they are the best. They are the gold standard.
So anyway, they are the gold
market.
Standard. So that's good news there.
Who drives the market, Dom?
Us, the collectors.
So, too many lemons out
Not
there
us, double coverage. Relax.
Paying for a plastic case and not for the card.
Mate. The collectors are the people that drive the market. Us, as a collective, by having little things in our brain that says, "Oh, this is the way it should be done, and this is how everyone should do it." It's like every fad in existence. Like you think of it, like fidget spinners. You remember those fidget spinner things?
Yeah,
it was a fad for a month. No one cares. Now they got these like press blocky things. My cousin's playing with these bloody plastic. Oh man, people making a killing off this. It's rubbish. And then you got these scholars out there writing journal articles that this is the greatest thing and it helps kids with this and that. Just shut the F up, man. You're trying to make yourself relevant. You haven't been relevant. You haven't been relevant of the last 20 journal articles you wrote. And you think
can I ask how the hell you got into fidget spinners, first of all? And then
I'm just saying, I'm trying to relate it to the hobby where we come up with fads. We come up with fads. We do. The fad is.
I feel grading is the fad at the moment. I feel
it is
grading.
A fad. Like, let's look at.
It's not a fad because it's not going to come. It's not going to go.
No, it's not going to go.
Here to stay.
Perfect fad is LaMelo Ball hoops rookies. Conor McGregor first Prism cards. Oh, it's his rookie. Oh, it's not his rookie. So just relax. And they're buying them for hundreds of dollars, and then now you can go buy for $30. $25, the Conor McGregor card. You can go buy the LaMelo.
So the silver's gone for 130 and the base is gone for 13. As high as $40 originally. Even more than that, I believe.
There you go. So
yeah, about $40 when they came out.
That's what I'm trying to say about fads.
The silvers were 500, now they're down to 100.
I'll retract what I said about like grading companies aren't fads, but are they entirely necessary? Is the way that we should phrase that. Anyway, I digress. I talk about fidget spinners and scholars, and they got their Le Mans as well. But CCG, so CGC and CSG, they're not irrelevant. The bottom line is they're not irrelevant. People don't put money into these things wanting it to fail. And we'll segue with that into Ken Goldin jumping on the crossover with Hoj and Josh, so Cardboard Chronicles. So this was honestly absolutely fantastic. He jumped in. They were talking about the merger. He obviously follows those guys, and he copped the notification. So he got in. He clarified a few things. He did not get 1 cent out of the deal, the takeover, the buyout. He took shares instead, invested in the company. He has not got a check for $100 million like some people think that he did. He has, by all means, he came out and he said all these things. So you know what it's like this day and age, Source. things find a way of creeping out and getting leaked. So he wouldn't come out and do this, hopefully, and lie to the audience and the people in the hobby. I don't believe I think he's just being truthful and transparent as much as possible. And he has been with his business in the last 6 to 12 months that I've known him. He's done it for a longer time. I'm not saying he's a scam artist. I'm just saying my dealings with Goldin, seeing him develop into a bigger player in this hobby, he's been pretty transparent and open with his lives and showing cards. And he's improved his knowledge a billionfold, mate, when it comes to cards. And he talked about how they control the pop when it comes to auctions based on the fact that they get all these cards sent in. So he doesn't want to have that pop control that he has. Like he was talking about Jordan Fleers, and he had at one stage 40 of the 300 and whatnot in his at his company, in his vault, trying to get them to put into different auctions. And the one thing he said is he wants to take in a smaller amount because he doesn't want to try and put 2 Jordan Fleer rookies in the same auction. He'd rather than be out there, he'd try and help people link up with others that can do private sales. He doesn't want them in his vault because he doesn't want it to be like that impression that the only place you can get him is coming to Goldin auctions and doing stuff like that. So he was really transparent and honest with that. And honestly, I really respect that. Him going into that depth to give the information. It's massive stuff. He dropped a few interesting things which have since happened, like Barstool Sports. They've linked up with them. They're doing breaks with them once a month. Ken's going to jump on their platform, their services that they provide in terms of podcasts and whatnot, and content, betting. But they're going to have a trading card segment once a month. He's going to go rip some cards on there, get out to their 1 million plus followers on Instagram. I'm pretty sure they've got 1 million. They've got millions of people in their audience around the world. So it just brings more eyes onto the hobby, which is fantastic once again.
Great.
Then he dropped another nice little hint that he's also going to be doing some breaking with some ESPN analysts. I'm putting my money on Grant Hill, who's opened cards on air before. I'm pretty sure he's with ESPN, Grant Hill, if I'm not mistaken. But he's going to be ripping boxes with ESPN analysts, which is, once again, ESPN, as you know, is a major network, not only here in Australia, but also in the United States. And they've branched off into different, obviously, they've got ESPN Australia and different countries around the world. So potentially getting that broadcasted globally will put more of an invested interest into the hobby. So not for anything, he's doing all the right things, Ken. And I tell you what, so's Nat Turner.
Credit.
He's done well. He's the monopoly man, as we're calling him. So he's PSA and now Goldin Auctions. But the interesting thing, Ken Goldin mentioned something, and Hoj also said if you had your ear to the ground, you'd be pretty knowledgeable and well versed on what's been happening down at Panini. They're shopping.
Yep,
they're shopping.
That was one of the things that stood out to me when I heard
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
and some of the things that Ken was saying about a company that wants to get bought, about how they were manufacturing product, higher print runs, wanting to be seen with a lot of product. You know, a lot of people buying out their product on high print runs, looking very successful. So when they go to sell, they can get a higher price for what their company is. So, Source, I'm telling you, my money's with the monopoly man. Nat Turner, my money's with the monopoly man.
It'd be interesting if he did go out there and buy Panini. Look, some people would say, why would he want Panini? I'd be like, well,
why wouldn't you?
He can afford it, so
People need to people in the hobby need to also understand Panini
They still
isn't
got the
like
basketball license for another 2
it's
years. I
yeah,
think.
it's not. We're not looking at Panini America. We're looking at Panini full stop, not Panini America. So it's everything that comes under there. The European sticker market, entertainment sticker market,
That's
entertainment
big.
cards, everything that comes with
They
it.
do a lot of stuff other than just sports cards.
Correct. So whoever gets it, it'll be a massive acquisition. Who knows what happens when it comes to changes within Panini if it does get sold. The other interesting thing, BGS, they're more than likely going to get bought out.
Yeah, I can't see them not getting bought out. And it's probably might be the best single thing that happens to them if they get bought out. Seriously, Dom. Because it means they will actually get the change that people will have been needing from that company.
Who knows?
That's just my thought. That's just my thought because still at this current point in time, they're still pretty lackluster and average.
They're number one. They're the best.
Yeah. Look,
Beckett, the best grading service, BGS, best grading.
I like them, mate. I like them. I like.
They got the nicest slabs. They got the nicest slabs,
but it's just.
But yeah, I see it happening.
Their marketing.
What we both have. We've discussed it. We think it's definitely a thing. There's been rumors potentially that it's going to happen, and could be a great thing. Like freshening up your brand, like Saul said, changes. You got to, if you can't see what I'm doing on the podcast, it's moving my hands like an Italian, trying to say, a bit of oomph. You need something. You need to rocket up your ass, really. That's what I'm trying to say, to try and get some changes sorted. Improve your product. That's what I'm trying to say. Just like HGA. Let's talk about them. Source, no Q.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, we've reported earlier on HGA and how they are expanding each week, and by all means, it looks as though they are, going to increase their limits more and more now. They got rid of the queue system, and it's just sort of go in their first in sort of best dressed attitude, and they want to take off limits and do some other things like you can submit more than 5 cards per submission and so on. They upgraded their servers to AWS hosting, Amazon, which is much faster, and they did a number of other things that's allowed them to just have an open flow of customers and go without the queue system, which is brilliant because that means if they handled, I think their first test was today, that handled the submissions smoothly, I believe, and that just means that they can, open up to more people should they be able to still meet their turnarounds, and they are still meeting their turnarounds. That's reported by Tyler. He did a Facebook Live on the HJ Facebook page. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. For Australian listeners, someone in the comments at the very start of the live did also ask about what is the plan still to come to Australia, and how's Australia looking, sort of, because he has mentioned it previously, and he did say the plan is still to get to these other continents and countries, like Australia, Canada, and Europe. He did say they were the 3 by the end of the year. So look, it would be amazing. It would be amazing if he was able to get here. And this is what I say because, look at the reputation he's built up. And there's people here that we know and friends of us and friends of the show that have sent stuff to HGA. And they're impressed by them. And, if they were to come here, why wouldn't they be able to just, be, all right, I'm the best grading company in Australia. Like, sorry, Card Grading Australia, CGA, but who the hell are you? You had the same website for the last 2 years. You've What else can I say? Like
They
your
changed the
labels.
slab. They've
Yeah,
gone to
they've changed their
numbers.
slab. They've changed their label a bit, and they did change from the 100-point system to I think just the normal
Yeah, to the numbers.
1 to 10
Yeah.
system. They've just copied PSA. I don't know if they got the half grades. I think it's just 1 to 10, literally. So it's interesting, interesting to say the least. But credit to them, they're working vigorously, and
Tyler has
go on, Dom.
you go. Tyler just has to be the most transparent CEO going around, to be honest.
Yeah.
When do you get like access as a person in the hobby to the CEO directly by asking him questions? Just putting it out there. The no
You're bang
queue.
on there. You're
You know
bang
what
on there.
the no queue by HGA is a fuck you to everyone that put them down. Really, that's what it is, mate.
Yeah,
It is.
it
Everyone
is.
said that HGA was a fad and it's a gimmick and it's a Mickey Mouse brand and they're selling out their submissions on the queue, and now without the no queue, they're selling out as well. So we're going to start taking these people a bit seriously, or we're not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, all right? Because as Saul said, what gives any right for any grading company to be qualified to grade your card? In the end of the day, it's personal preference. That's how it works. If you like custom labels, you pay extra, you get custom labels. If you like the HGA normal label, you just get the HGA normal label. If you like RCG slabs, you go, okay, I want the RCG slab because it matches my card.
Yeah. They're another one, Doma, that we did give a
Anyway,
little bit of a shout out.
yeah, it's all right. We did and got back in contact with them. Hopefully their patents have cleared and they can actually start talking about their slab making process and all the ins and outs. Well, not all of them, but some of the ins and outs within their company, and they can come on the
Bit of
show
insight.
and they can give us some insight into their company and their thought process behind the slabs. And you know what? We might even open it up to them to ask us a question of what you think of our slabs. We'll be honest with them. I'm not here to waste their time. Source isn't either. Like, why wouldn't we? So there's one piece of advice if they listen to this: the Triple Crown's got to go. That's feedback not just from us, but from another one of our mates. Just the Triple Crown. You don't need it on the bottom, you don't need it on the top of the slab, and you don't need it in the slab label. So take your pick. It's a bit busy.
I would just go.
Just leave it in the label.
Yeah, I would just leave it in the label.
So we're just flying through. It's just a lot of grading company talk because, Source, grading companies popping up thick and fast. And now you've been very critical, and that's fine. You can be critical. You've been constructively critical on these companies. Now, I want you to pretend I'm a grading company and I'm coming to you and I said, Saucy from Saucy Collectibles, Double Coverage Podcast, I want to start a grading company. What should I be doing? Literally, tell me. I need some advice. How do I compete with the big dogs? First of all, how do I compete within this country if you're in Australia, or how do I compete within America? If it's America, you're competing with the big dogs. What do I have to do? What has to set me apart from everyone else? I want to make it.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I'd be saying you need to bring transparency from the beginning. Give us an insight into you, who you are, the person behind the grading company or the persons behind the grading company, your journey. The grading companies that have succeeded up to this point, obviously outside of the main ones, but the new ones up and coming, obviously HGA and Revolution Grading, they had a point of difference. Obviously, HGA they were the first to do any sort of software aided grading. I do know that they were like the first to really push that narrative. I do know there is a little bit of a software element in the CSG process, but obviously HGA come about for CSG. Revolution's got their printing within the slab. That's a point of difference. I'd still like to know more information about Revolution. So, that's why we'd like to get them on the podcast. But, just being transparent, because there's nothing worse than someone going, oh, I'm a grading company. I've got my Instagram page. Here's my website, which is, pretty easy to do and set up. Send your cards to me. Who the hell am I sending my cards to? Like, I need to trust you. Who are you? That's the thing. It's very hard for me to trust some new grading company when they've told me nothing about themselves. So that would be the number one thing that I would say, and I would go out and do is, explain who you are. Like, what's your journey within the hobby? What gives you the right to give my card a grade? What's your experience with grading? These are, the questions that I'd want answered, rather than just, here's a new grading company on Instagram. Follow me and send your cards to me.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, it's gotten out of hand, hasn't it, Dom? There is so many.
We got a lot following. Like, we get a lot people following us, and Source and I would just be like, "Oh, did you see who followed us? Did you see who followed us?" And it's like, so and so card grading, so and so card grading, and Adam hit the nail on the head. The card is king. Don't overpower the label or slab with visuals that take away from the card. That is a point. But some people just like for example, sometimes RCG slab can be pretty busy. I've seen some cards that are pretty busy, and some people just like that. They like a camo look. They've got like a sunburst look on some of them. They've improved this. They've improved their slab to the point where you can do different patterns now on their slabs, which is interesting. Like, that's like why we want to find out how they do it. It's pretty cool. Would I grade with them? No, because it's not my personal preference for cards. I don't want it to be in a colorful slab. I just want a clear slab card, like you're saying, Adam. I want the card to be the center of attention. Yeah, it's got a grade, whatever. Like I said, I sent my card to CGC, my Charizard, I got a 5.5. I didn't crack the shits. I'm like, yeah, right, got a 5.5. The card's protected. I'm happy. It's in a slab. I can put it on display. Happy days. But Source, let's get into the point where I know you joked about it. But there is that many of them. Like, if you're coming out and saying to your mate, we've got to be careful here, Source, because you don't want to sound hypocritical, because we want everyone to eat, but then we don't want it to just be beholden to the 5 big dogs, really.
Yeah.
The top two are king.
I'm not saying that I'm not for new grading companies. I've promoted other grading companies.
But right? what we're trying to say is, don't come out with like Saucy card grading or Diamond card grading or Gem Mint Plus card grading, for example. These are just random. I don't even know if these exist. Saucy's one probably does. Saucy's ones do.
Saucy's one. We can make that happen.
We can make that happen. We'll put the card in a bloody sauce bottle. Transparent sauce bottle for her. There you go. At least the card's protected. Cosmic said, I'm stunned people are optimistic about succeeding as a new grading company. It seems impossible for new companies to ever reach the legitimacy and appeal of PSA or BGS slabs. And that's what I'm getting to. RCG, HGA, I'm not putting CSG in this because CSG is legitimized. And we said this on a previous podcast. I don't need to sit here and legitimize CSG. They are legitimized.
Yeah.
They're the best at grading comics, and they're one of the best at grading TCG. So they're a legitimized company. And we've seen them get bought out. Like sections of their company getting bought out. So they are legitimized. Don't anyone that comes up to me and says, oh, I wouldn't send CSG, but they are legitimized. All right? You just don't like the label. Don't knock the company for being,
and that's why I feel like the label's going to get changed because it cops so much flack.
Correct. All right. So CSG is not in this discussion, but companies like HGA and RCG that were coming up, they had a point of difference. They let people, HGA did, Tyler let people know I was a businessman and I'm very transparent. His ins and outs of his business career. He's a collector. He spent $1 million on cards in 2019, the year before he started HGA. which is last year. But you can't come out all these random companies like Saucy Card Grading can't just say, hey, Dom, I've started a grading company and I want you to start grading my cards with me. The reality to the fact of the point of all of this is people don't grade the card for the shiny slab. They grade the card for the value that the slab is going to provide on top of what the card's worth. That is what they're grading it for. If Saucy has a little sauce bottle in his freaking label in his slab and he puts it in there and I go, oh yeah, look at this, I'm going to sell this. And everyone, like, I'm slabbing with him to make money because I want to sell the card. People are going to look at it and be like, oh, is this a fake card? This must be a custom card. Surely this is a custom card. No one's taking it seriously. You have to grind so hard. And this is where marketing is key. You got to keep showing proofs, and not for anything, before you even open your doors. Like, sometimes it's even worth like, oh, we're a new grading company. What are your thoughts on our labels, on our slabs? Improvements, asking people in the hobby, not even publishing them to the public yet, even just going and saying, who's a good one? Like Cage. We'll say Cage, for example, or Hoj, or Josh from Cardboard Chronicles. Yeah? Or Goldie. I don't know. Lou. Anyone you want. Yeah? Us. You can come to us. Any podcast or person that's in the hobby. Grayson at Cherry. Anyone you want. And you say, hey, listen, I'm setting up this grading company. This is the slab. This is what the label is going to look like. What are your thoughts? Now, there are people in the hobby that will literally say to you, yeah, okay, these guys are the best. But you're not going to get to the point where they're going to slab top-tier cards with you. They might send some Hoops base cards to you. They want to get them slabbed for PC. What are you going to do? What is your service going to offer in terms of price points, turnaround time, customer service? What are you going to do to stop me from sending my card for $12 to CSG? What are you going to provide me that's going to stop me from subbing with them? Or $20, whatever the price point is there. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
If you can't tell me what you're going to do to enhance the person in the hobby's experience with you as a company, here's my advice, as brutal as it is: rip up the contracts. Don't start the business, because you're going to fail. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And you will fall into the category of just call yourself a card protecting service, mate, because that's what you're going to become.
I'm telling you, this should be a thing, because let's be honest, people want it in that plastic case. And, these grading companies are coming onto the scene and charging 20, 30 US off the bat, right?
What? Like, forget about the grade.
Not for anything, Doma. Like, once again, they don't tell us who they are. They don't give us any transparency. They don't give us any, history, story, whatever it may be that's going to give me the confidence that, you know what, that 9 grade, that X grading company, Saucy's, grading company, that is a true grade, because, this person has had this history and he's told me about themselves and this is how they do their grading and such and such. You have social networks, you have YouTube, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have so many ways to show these things off, make videos, get a videographer to maybe create something that, with explaining, with voiceover, so many ideas, right?
Here's another one for you. Like Cosmic, it is a hot idea. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. We've been saying it. Like, here's an idea for your source, all right? Now, I'm probably giving the company, I can't remember the name of the company, but if they listen to this or anyone wants to send it to them, by all means, it will enhance their company tenfold. So, all those pre-grading companies out there, your card is a X. Your card should be this. If you send it to BGS, here's a piece of advice to a lot of these people starting up. Potentially, it could be to stop the backlog. You try and you work your ass off to legitimize your brand, to potentially link up with a major grading company, a BGS or a PSA, and you do pre-grading grades. We've seen them out there. There's companies that do it. But on top of that, you don't put it in a slab that is completely sealed. It goes in a slab with the pre-grade and the label. The label's already done. So all they have to do is literally just copy it out in their system, print it, put it in a sealed slab. You say it's double handling, but people send cards to pre-grade anyway. So just freaking do it. Like, put it in a protective slab as a pre-grade. So then when you send it to the grading company, all the work's done. It could even be a PSA slab, potentially. All they have to do is put it in their machine and they completely press it, and all they do is just print the label. They open it, take the card out, take the pre-grading sleeve off of it, put the card back in there. The label's done. They print it out on their PSA label. They put it in there. Bang, done. And it could be Source's grading, pre-grading service, protective slabs. You know, it's a long name, but it could just be, I don't know, Source's protective slabs that does pre-grading.
I think there's a market for that. I truly do.
That's what you should be doing. Like, you can't
like if someone could turn around and
PSA.
Yeah. I think that's the case. But yeah, as we said, that's our tips that we would give to up and coming grading companies, new grading companies. Like, I'm not against them. Like, I can understand it, Dom. I can understand it because we did a bit of research, and I mean, there is some more things, machinery and things apparently you need to press the plastic together. So, but I can understand why there's people out there giving this a red hot crack, especially when you do all the financials and how much it actually costs to get one of the cases made and all that sort of stuff, and then printing and all that sort of thing. If you're charging $20, it's probably at most $5 for everything, $3 maybe. Then you're grading it.
Start low, build your following, then you can readjust your price points. PSA started low before they're going to go to bloody $50 a card, whatever it is on their minimum. But what I'm saying is PSA started low, and they were already an established company. They were an established
that's what baffles
company.
me, these guys that come around and they start at $20, $30. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Right. Like, they're an established company. I can send my card to RCG for $35. Source. Like, they're established now. I give them their respect. They worked hard, and they came in at that time where CSG was just launching. HJ was a couple months into their thing, like into their existence, and RCG came out and they tried something new because they had, like you said, different looking slabs. It was completely different to anything that was out there on the market.
It was. Never seen anything like it.
Yeah, Source is wrecked, man. But Adam, we got up, we watched Italy, then we went and shot.
I got up and watched it. That's why, mate. And then I went and shot hoops. So I'm literally my eyes are dozing off as I talk. But we'll be wrapping this up soon. So we're getting towards the end of the hobby. And I to be honest with you, I don't think I even have a saucy smoky with you this week. So I'd rather just leave it slide. Leave it slide.
Definitely, it's been a long day, to say the least. But, we keep pushing through. That's what we do, provide the content. But, yeah, just if you're thinking about pulling the trigger tonight to launch your new grading company, hopefully you see this. Hopefully you see this and you go, wait a second, let me think about this a bit more in depth before I pull the trigger. Just please. Because if I see... there'll be another 10 that bloody pop up next week. So we could write a list.
There's so many.
It's crazy. All right, let's move on to the last thing quickly. We're going to go through NFL Panini Illuminance football. So we'll quickly run through this checklist. I might send you this link source in the private chat. If you're in the... if you want to follow along, you'll be watching it anyway. But if you want to put it on a dual screen, I'll put it in the comments for you anyway, if you want to have it up yourself. Oh, damn.
Panini Illuminance 2021.
I just closed the tab. Lucky I just copied the link. Jeepers. All right. $250 a box. Source. A hobby box. $250.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Interesting price point.
We got
Luminance and Draft. I mean, they're in their college jerseys.
yeah. There's no Trevor Lawrence in his Jags kit, but where are we? The base set is 200 cards. So in each hobby box, we're struggling here. 3 autos, 1 relic, 5 parallels, 4 inserts, 12 rookies. It is releasing on the 9th of July. There's 10 cards per pack, 4 packs per box, and 12 boxes per case. Where are we at here? Base set is 200 cards.
200 cards, Doma.
Gold to $2.99, blue to
the base
$99.
Luminance auto set, which is 49 cards. The rookie Luminance auto set, which is 92 cards. Rookie Luminance auto parallel set.
Bit of Jamar Chase sauce. That's not a bad one.
Gold. This doesn't make sense. Why do they do this? Anyway, gold is to 100, which is bizarre because it's usually 10.
And they got to $2.99 up further.
Gold to 100 or 75, then blue to 50, green to 25, and pink to 10. That's the rookie Luminance auto parallel set. And then there's autograph jersey set checklist. Just trying to note any big names there.
On the auto jersey
Aaron
one.
Rodgers. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got Jerry Jeudy there. His second year, Jerry Judy's probably not really.
TJ Hushman-Zada. Let's go. Joe Namath. That's a nice one. To 5. Aaron Rodgers to 5. Some nice ones in there.
Yeah, some decent ones.
Sean Merriman. They're all good players, really. Then award winners, Chuck Foreman Celebration ink set, DeMarcus Lawrence, and TJ Watt. Illuminated ink set, Kyler Murray. Not bad. Who else is in here? Pretty much it. Ink set checklist, Jeff Okuda. Not a bad one. Minka Fitzpatrick, Sean Alexander. NFL 100 signatures set checklist, 4 cards. Pretty good. Portrait signatures are in there. Some nice cards in here. Aaron Donald, but it's a low end product.
It is a low end product. I think it'd be a fun rip.
It'd be a fun rip. Exactly. You get a lot of nice vet autos in here if you're interested in some of these guys. There's a few second year guys you can collect if you want to go second year cards. People still make that a thing. You can always, not for anything.
Be careful on the second year cards.
Yeah, I know. But not for anything, you can get Tom Brady autos. Tom Brady autos are Tom Brady autos in the end of the day. If you want to, doesn't matter if it's his rookie year or his 20, whatever it is, year, Tom Brady autos are sick. So if you want to try and add that to your collection.
Lights out set checklist. You got a Tom Brady auto in that.
Yeah.
It's 20 card set. There's Aaron Rodgers in that. There's a Patty Mahomes in that as well. Jeez, that's jam packed. You got Joey Burrow. You got Ezekiel Elliott, Myles Garrett, Dak Prescott, Travis Kelce. So Aaron Donald. So a few big names, huge names actually, which is really really good. And then there's the moment set checklist black 1 of 1.
And you know what's funny? Dynamic set checklist source. Veterans. Tua Tagovailoa and Jonathan Taylor. They're in their second year.
How do they get veterans in there?
Well, you play once. So if you go into your second season, you're a vet.
That's so stupid.
That's pretty funny. The rookie's Trevor Lawrence. Well, that makes sense.
That's so stupid, doesn't
it? In this set, in the dynamic set here, you can actually get Trevor Lawrence 1-of-1s. So platinum autos. Pretty cool.
Yeah, look,
obviously not in his gear, but so it's not going to be.
Personally, I would be, I think it'll be a fun rep because there's obviously got some other, other stuff in there that you can chase and whatnot. But you're looking for just the rookie chase, probably not the product to be, picking up. That's what I would say. So, obviously it just depends on what you're planning to do. If you want to get your hands on something at a reasonable price, that's going to be fun to rip. I think it'd be a good product. I mean, what's this say? It's hobby boxes buy now. This usually just takes us to a here you go, 16 sold, eBay listing, merchandise,
250's right.
merchandise liquidations. He's selling out boxes at $250 a pop.
So just remember, it's $250 for what was it? 14 cards? No, 10 cards per pack. 4 packs per box so $250 for 40 cards. So there's 12 rookies within the box. But keep in mind the rookies are not in their NFL gear. They'll be in their college kits. So yeah, all right. Sauce, there will be no Saucy Smoky, but we'll quickly give an update. Sauce and I are going to be doing some different type of content as well in the YouTube realm. We're going to start changing it up a bit, try and get a bit more of an audience on YouTube. So there'll be exclusive content coming to our page, and it is going to be pretty much ripping product. So doesn't have to. It could be current stuff. It could be older stuff. I know we've got some more of this grid, so we're going to rip some of those. And if you want to watch and see hits, it'll go on there. I think we've got some Pokemon products we want to rip. We're going to do it themed. We might do a multi-sport one down the track, but there's some soccer stuff, some basketball stuff, NFL stuff. Sauce might even rip baseball. So baseball
I myself a hobby box at retail the other day, so I think I'm going to rip it.
So, there you go. So try and change it up a bit, and we'll see what we can do. If we can get some newer product on the market, potentially, we'll try and work some stuff out. Try and bring some more content here. So that's pretty much it, Sauce. Behalf of myself and the great man Sauce, I think it's time for bedtime.
It's time for bed. It's time for a nap. It's time to go have some dinner and have a nap.
We're snoozing. We are snoozing. It's Forza Italia. We could touch on that. We had no right to win that game, but we did. And Sauce, you could quickly tell your Alvaro Morata story.
Ladies and gents, look, we're going to say this. I'll tell you my morning. I woke up, I started watching the game. Spain equalised. I was up there. I was making a coffee. I had planned to head down to Lygon Street, down to the Piazza where everyone watches it, and I seen the goal 1-1. So I jumped in the car and drove down there. I'm like, this is going to extra time. Got there perfectly in time for extra time beginning. Watched it. Goes to penalties. Obviously, we know we missed the first one, and then Olmo missed. Then it got down to Morata, and a friend of mine goes, Sauce, is he going to miss it? And I looked at him, I said, if there's one guy who's going to miss, it will be him, because he always cracks under the pressure. And sure enough, Alvaro Morata, I said in the DMs on our group chat, Doma, that they need to bring him on I think this was at the 70th minute before they had scored. They need to bring him on because he's going to help us win the game because he's a spud. And boy, oh boy, was I right. He scored the goal to send it to extra time, and then he stuffed it up for him on penalties. Alvaro Morata, thank you very much. Forza Azzurri, and Doma, I think we can't end on a better note than that.
We can't. So keep living, loving, and breathing sport. It's Dom and Sauce. Double coverage. Peace.
Peace out, ladies and gents.
Tornado a casa. It's coming
home, baby. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking All Sports. Double curve.